Um, testing, testing. Here, let me turn this down a smidge. Fine, let me just turn it off. Right. Why is the bug going crazy? Oh, um, oh, it's going rather ballistic. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. uh, I guess get right into it and debug the bug a little bit. Yeah. So it, you know, he won't shut the fuck up, as is apparent here. Noel? Oh, okay. Alright, we're gonna kill it briefly. Actually, let's just... He's not doing anything while, this goes on. Let's see. Rather wild, rather wild inconvenience right off the bat. Why do you know that I was messing around with the code, so that's probably... Alright, let's see. Source main.c. Okay. Let's uncomment this and see if we can de-nullify, as they say. Why are you null? Rather weird. Oh. Alright, that was... No further undue information. Okay, You might just have to revert to an old version. Alright, let's see. Oh! Wait, hold on. Why are you yapping so incessantly still? What happens if we mute? Where are you getting your... Oh, I think I know. Haha, I think I know. Do I know? Do I know? Are you getting your audio from a weird output? No, that shouldn't be the case. Well, this is awfully unfortuitous start to things, I guess. But yeah. Alright, let's see. Okay, oh, okay. I think I just have to set the sensitivity up a little bit. That's so weird. What is... Or perhaps... Perhaps... Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so... It looks like the issue is... Alright. Let's set this to 4. Oh. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Crisis semi-averted? Question mark? Not really a crisis. I'm gonna actually raise it up a little bit more. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Oh, oops. And yeah, I guess I will just... Well, okay. Alright, yeah. I can stay pretty satisfied at this level. Okay, that's rather strange. I'll have to remember to unstash the... Let's make a little reminder terminal here. Alright. There. Okay. Well, now that that's out of the way, I guess I can go ahead and get back to the list. Get back to the Lisp as the title of the stream suggests will be occurring. But yeah, all right, here we are. So it's kind of been. I shall not lie. I have been a little bit, I say, distracted from this project as of late. I've been a little bit distracted. I've been a little bit locked in on other projects, more or less. That being said, you know, I didn't want to walk in with nothing new, so I did work on it a little bit today. So far, nothing super major, but I managed to... I'm kind of in a refactoring period with this, I guess would be the best, best way to go ahead and describe it. I've been working on refactoring the code that is here, so let's hop right here really quick, and yeah, let's go into the scanner interface. So there's some, for lack of a better way to describe it, very ugly fucking code in here, and interface isn't that bad, actually. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Shit like this. I have been working on making this a bit less of a headache, a bit less evil, a bit less stringy. I am very anti-string unless it can't be avoided. Very much prefer my symbols and my ability to debug the symbols and all that jazz. But kind of on top of that, something else I realized is that code generation is... the output file is kind of fucked up as well, which is, bad, because that is going to be the primary point of entry for the listener, so... Or, not listener, fuck, I've been doing this too long. Yeah, the user, so... this, it looks okay at first. It looks okay, it looks similar to the actual one, but it proceeds to get increasingly fucked up and needlessly lengthy, especially, let's page up for a while, especially around this section here. Um, these add listener functions right here, this incredibly just bad, just ugly and bad. I've managed to actually, kind of by defining it a little bit lower level. I feel that it's a bit of a low level function, and by implementing it at a lower level of the protocol in this right here, I'm still work in progress a bit. There are some additional changes I want to make since I'm not relying on generation for it now, and yeah, this is kind of like a master control add listener right here, and it does a lot of the same things. It does a couple things differently that'll hopefully iron out some of the bugs, some of the bugs I was having. But yeah, this one in essence does most of the same things as this one, but a lot less messy, a lot less just bare like CFFI calls in there, for example, is one of the major things. And then really on top of that, like, looping. Looping is fucking epic. It took me a little bit to figure it out, figure this loop out, but I'm rather proud of it now that I've got it going. But rather than just sort of explicitly stating out every single one of the implementations, I'm just looping over a key value list, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I hated loops. I hated common Lisp loops whenever I was first learning this language, but seeing how much like they can just reduce code size by they're kind of magical. I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of fucking amazing. Kind of seeing them in action now. But yeah, it's been a lot. It's kind of a lot of just really a refactoring sort of section of things. Going through making everything that's ugly a little bit less ugly. This says export the MPL symbols. I don't think I'm gonna need to do that because this won't be used directly. This will be a re-export of this, so it should have access to everything. But yeah, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but the reason that's there is because things such as this were not exporting properly, and I quite like them to. I like them to pay attention. I like them to do what they're supposed to do, but again, that's sort of a problem for future me, as they say. So yeah, there is this. And then sort of the changes that I think need to be made with this is if we actually go over to, where are you, Wayland? Oh, that's a free BSD book on Wayland. So yeah, let's go to the official Wayland. Yeah, let's go to the official Wayland Git repository, and we'll take a look at it here. So, yeah, if we hop into here, see, where do you live? I can't quite remember. Oh, source, yeah. Source, and then client.c. So, Wayland client.c. Alright, and then yeah. So if we look here, kind of at how the base function that we are writing this FFI wrapper around, that then gets spun into a piece of generated code that is also just code wrapped around it. If we take a look at this, we can see that two of the major things that we want to pay attention to that it does is it sets the underlying proxy object's implementations to the implementations that we pass to it, and it sets the user data to data. Data won't be that difficult because we well, more or less, like, I don't we have direct access to that, but proxy dash object or proxy dash objects dot implementation, that one's a little bit more tricky because what we're looking at in this case is a struct that contains another struct that then has its own kind of like implementation field, and we need to manipulate that one, which means that what we need to do if we want to kind of mimic that behavior, even if it's just for the user end, so that there's direct access to the object as well. What we're going to want to do is this object right here. This line right here. We are going to want to figure out how to make this Wayland dash object into a Lisp object. So that is sort of on the agenda there. But yeah. Alright, make into a Lisp object. I think the secret to this is actually in the... Let's go over to their test folder really quick. Test. Okay, perfect. And data. Alright, example client. That is what we're looking for. Wayland display get registry, and so this will return a Wayland registry. Wayland registry struct, or a pointer to the struct. So this will return a pointer to the struct. So what we will need to do is actually, if we look at something like this, something that needs to be done here is pass this is okay. This is actually quite this is going to be kind of an interesting conundrum, because here we are obviously returning a pointer. And what we could do is just wrap that pointer. Okay. So we declare a struct pointer, looking at this, by the name of registry. And it takes the value of the Marshall flags, and then we return that. But we do then pass it here. Okay. So we are just... It kind of is a pointers all the way down situation. Okay. So what we are probably going to want to do in a case like this still is create, like, in this example, create a Wayland registry object. And if we go back to... Wayland display get registry, we will want to Okay. This is a bit of a tricky one. Let's see. How do you open a new tab and... Alright. I guess tab clone and then... Let's go ahead and take a look at the good reference page, you know. I think I've been on this page for a fucking month. This single chapter's taken an entire month of working on this code. And yeah, I thought it was going to be pretty simple going into this, and then I got to binding the globals and ran into the wonderful world of having to generate the code. So yeah, but we shall finish the book, as they say. You know, we're close to halfway there. Close to halfway there. So, you know, too late to turn back, especially because ostensibly, at least, the worst fucking parts are over with. The hardest parts. I mean, alright. So, if we look at this, we do take registry. Yeah, we take registry as a... So it is an opaque struct. It's just straight up an opaque struct. And it takes the value of getRegistryDisplay. Okay? So that part we are doing mostly correctly. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like wrapping it into an object, maybe it's not the most necessary thing. Who knows? Who knows? We might be in the clear in this one particular case, but that will be determined. I think that creating an object interface for it will make for a little bit of cleaner, like, usable code, because in this case as well, you can ostensibly access the different sections of the object with ease, which is, you know, kind of not possible in Lisp, because we're not dealing with pointers. But, alright, interesting. And then the listener is a struct as well of these void pointers. I've gotten past that part, I think. And then data, we don't really give a shit about data yet, at least. Yet is kind of the titular word there. But yeah, So it would be a struct of type Wayland registry, which inherits from Wayland object and Wayland proxy. So I think that's a good plan. Wrap it into an object, and from that object, we can just go ahead and pass the pointer here instead. And that way, you know, some of these other parts here. Oh, we are in the wrong code now. Alright. Client, where? Oh, that's test. Alright. Where do we want to go? Source. Alright, yes. And, Alright, yes. Let's see. And then, yeah, setting the implementation to the actual implementation pointer. Underlying it won't be as much of a hassle, I guess, would be the way to describe it. But yeah, this piece of code is, this whole ordeal is still kind of one of the more difficult parts because the server is still rejecting my messages, or yeah, server is still rejecting the messages. Let's see, it looks like WL data offer, because I believe that we already have the skeleton for an object for this. Fuck. Alright, here we go. Or perhaps we don't? We have it for the listeners, but not for the actual struts. That's fucked up. Alright, let's take another quick look at this. Alright. Okay, but we do have, okay, so we do have the framework for an actual, like, registry, and we have it for the listener as well. So both of these actually have, you know, with the listener, we actually kind of, like, set forth that little skeleton thing for it. Yeah, both of these actually have the, I guess, yeah, both, you know, kind of are already ripe for the picking. So it's not like a new object has to be defined necessarily. Instead, just a new instantiation of the, or a new, like, instance instantiation, and then pass that instance instantiation to the this, and inside of proxy. Oh yeah, okay, fuck, okay, and alright, inside of proxy marshal flags will actually make the new object. Yeah, okay, fuck, okay, now we are cooking, we're fucking cooking, okay. Return it from the function. Alright, let's see. And then let's check out our pal binding the globals again really quick. Okay. Okay, okay. I think this is gonna work. Alright, fuck yeah. Let me shrinkify this just a tad. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So, that's going to work. I deem it going to work. I deem it going to work. So I guess what I can go ahead and actually start on now is just making some of the actual code a little bit less shitty. Alright, so where do we want to live right now? Let's start with the protocol.list. Alright. Oh yeah, protocol.lisp doesn't actually generate anything. I keep mixing it up with the reader, so let's go to reader.lisp. And yeah. Which of these aren't even in use? Let's open the SLI and address some of the warnings that it gave me. No warnings. Oh, are we not in the package? Oh. Oh. Oops. Alright. Yeah, I guess we're not in the package. Okay. Meowdy. Hello, Casey underscore, care. Meow. Mauedi. How are you? How are you? Oh, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? I was like, me, oh, well, that's nice. No, that's nice. I am, as you can see, a bug. I hope the bug looks okay. I think it looks okay. Meow. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was having some technical difficulties. The moment the stream started. Oh, not found. Oh, error. Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties the moment that the stream got going. And I had to rush to fix it because I didn't notice them until I was already live, and then it kept talking even whenever I wasn't talking. I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to stop, like this, like this. But yeah, it wasn't stopping. All right, but yeah, right now I'm just going through my code because I have too much written, and I'm making it just less of a nightmare to deal with, like entirely. That's quite literally what it is. But let's deal with some of these. Ooh. Okay, so I believe I've talked with you before about Wayland, if I'm correct. It is for Wayland, essentially. So here, if I actually, it's so confusing. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. It's a bit of a rabbit hole. It's a bit of a rabbit hole, but what I'm basically doing is there's this C code right here, and there's a lot of it. And what I'm doing is making it so that this code that's in C is in Common Lisp, which I like both languages, but I want to write some stuff in Common Lisp for Wayland. And so I'm working on Yeah, I'm working on making it so that I can actually write that stuff in Common Lisp, but it is a bit of a challenge. I've been, I think I'm a month deep into this now. Right, let's see. Style warning in client. Display is never used. Huh. Uh, what shall I call you on here, Meow? Um, Honestly, any variation of, I guess, my username, bug, big book of bug, uh, any of those likenesses, I guess. Most people say bug because I guess it's shorter to say. Whatever people, it makes it so that whenever people do say big book of bug, I feel rather like royalty. Like whenever you see like an old David history book and they have like 30 like titles before their name, it feels like that. But bug is also nice. Yes, big or book of big bug. That as well. That as well. I'm open to all variations thereof. It is my I guess you would say it is my internet persona at this point. My secret computer identity is the big book of bug. Alright, let's see. Display is never used. Yes, I know that. I know it's never used. Here, we'll go ahead and use it right now. Maybe. Maybe we won't. What if I just don't listen to this warning? Yeah, that seems better. Because it's complaining. Oh, call nil. Okay. Call is defined but never used. That one I actually can do something about. Reader. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. I don't think so, at least. Which means that this is going to look ever so slightly less ugly. And this one is still horrifying. This one is relatively horrifying as well, but, you know. Okay, let's see. What makes it scary? I'd say the main thing in my humble opinion as the person who has created some of the more monstrous aspects of this, what makes it scary is the fact that it's doing a lot of really I don't it does a lot of stuff at once. It does a lot of stuff at once, and a lot of it feels like very just like esoteric to a degree after a little bit here. This one isn't necessarily too bad anymore, but a good example is this piece of code right here generates and yeah, this one's not too bad, but this piece of code right here generates, let's go to output. It'll generate one of these. Oh, not one of these. Wrong output. Alright, let's go to test data and small out. Yeah, so this function right here that says write Wayland interfaces is in charge of generating this right here. And I don't know, it's kind of I guess what I'd say, what makes it a little bit on the scarier side, for lack of a better way to describe it, is I have to figure out how to make it. Not only do I have to figure out how to use the code that I'm generating later on, but I have to figure out how to make my pre-generation code generate the correct code. So in this case, I think it works. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. But it's very like touch and go, I guess. It's a lot of just really hoping it's going to work correctly. And then this one is question mark to do. Okay. Hoping, yeah, no, indeed, it's quite, you know, it's quite a lot of crossing the fingers and just saying please don't work, or not don't work, fuck. A lot of crossing the fingers and just being like, please work, please work, please do what I want you to do in my head. But it's, it's tugging along as well, which is nice. I think what I'm gonna target is this one right here, because I literally have one of the things say make it less ugly and then shared, which we've already done shared. Allow specification of a package name is what I would like it to do now. Which means it's going to need that. Okay. I used to do that quite a bit, playing Pokemon. I used to do that quite a bit with with Pokemon. I would very often find myself on my like old Game Boy or something like that, and you know trying to capture like a legendary, and I would start praying and be like, God, if you let me have this legendary, I swear that I start going to church every day, and I will give all my money to charity and stuff. What I would do, because I'm straight up fucking evil, is I would proceed to cross my fingers behind my back, thinking I could somehow trick God into falling for giving me what I wanted. Yeah, and I would do that, and then I would eventually, catch the Pokemon that I was so desiring, and then after that, I would unveil my fingers, and I'd be like, "Gotcha, God, you gave me what I wanted. I'm not going to give you what you want." And yeah, after that happened, there's a period after that happened where I would have a series, always crossing the finger. Hello, control underscore. Oh, how are you? But yes, always crossing the fingers. I was quite a big fan of making promises to higher powers that I knew I would not keep. Ooh, yes, wave. Let me wave. Oh. Oh, wait, pretend that's a wave. I hit the wrong one. But yeah, we are unfucking the code some today. It is quite fucked up, and rather on the spaghetti side. De-spaghettifying it, I guess, would be the most accurate descriptor. But what was I looking for in here? Alright. Yes. Symbol name. Okay. What if we read from... Yeah, read from string, and then... Surely this will work. No fucking way that works. Okay. Okay, that's rather... That is going to be rather helpful in all of this. Yeah, no, literally. I didn't think that... I don't know if I'll have to intern it or not. It's the only thing I'm worried about, but I don't think I'm going to have to. Alright. And I think what we're gonna do is do a left binding here. And I think we're gonna want to concatenate it, so oops, wrong button. Okay. I think you might have explained it to me before. If so, I forgot. But why Lisp? Honestly, the main reason is just I ended up picking up Lisp. So I guess to kind of answer that question, we have to. I'm trying to think of the shortest way to answer that, or like the. Here, why don't I show you? So, I originally was a relatively avid C programmer. I still love C. Don't get me wrong. I am still quite the fan of C, but I encountered. Let's see. Open. Let's open a new tab. Tab clone. I encountered this. I encountered this browser called Next Browser, which is written entirely in Common Lisp. Mind you, whenever I first discovered this browser, and whenever I was first using it, which I'm not using it right now, I actually probably could get a window of it popped up. Hold on. I think I have it installed still. It's all defaults. I need to reconfigure it. But it's configured entirely in Common Lisp, and just kind of getting the browser configured and working with it, I ended up falling in love with Lisp, the language, as well. What I'm using right now is a browser written in Python, but that's mostly out of convenience. If I go right here, are you using Qt? Indeed, I am using Qt. My Nix configuration is rather old. I don't think I haven't touched it in like a solid like 5 months, maybe longer. Oh god, it's probably like 7 months at this point. Oh, well, that's gonna compile for a little bit of time. But yeah, I'm using Qt currently just because it works out the box a lot more. It has default Vim key bindings versus, describing the Vim mode for Next. My plan is kind of going back to Next and doing configuration on it again, but at the same time for like my main browser, compile. Indeed, yes, it is. Oh, what was that? Where'd you go? Portal not found. Could not connect. Connection refused. Well, now it's not. Alright. I don't know Emacs key binding, so how do I do anything? How do I do anything? What? Alt X? Control HK? Help? Yeah. Oh, it's been a while since. Oh, Giga Monkeys was here. This was whenever I was learning, like getting into Common Lisp. What? chapter 10. Okay, yeah, it's been a while. It's been quite a bit of time. Uh, I kind of want to reconfigure this. I what are oh, control space. All right. V normal mode. Okay, there we go. Now I can actually navigate things. But yeah, I was quite a fan. But yeah, that is kind of the very extended. I said short way. That's the very long way of saying how I got into Lisp. And from there, I don't know. I've been using the language. I'm running GNU Geeks as my Linux distribution, and it's written in Guile scheme, or like its configuration is, and that really only deepened my love as well. But it's a fantastic language, or family of languages. You, I don't know. I quite like it. I quite like it. I am. I think it's one of those ones where once you get hooked on it, it's kind of hard to go back. In my humble opinion, as a uh, talking pixel bug on the bottom right corner of a monitor. So yeah, I think if we do name and hmm. Alright, yeah, name there, and let's see. Let's investigate if we shall. I suppose it would be... Actually, I know, let's... Alright. Let's get an error. Let's get an error from this. Okay, beautiful. Um... Alright, Wayland private. I didn't realize coding could be an enjoyable thing for some people, as obviously as it probably is. Cat, yeah. That's the other thing about Lisp. The REPL has a cat. It has a, or the one I use. All right, that's the private. Wayland. All right. Oh, you mean the cat command? Oh, yeah. I don't know what it stands for, but it is one of my favorite commands. Wayland protocol, client protocol, that Lisp. Yeah, it's quite an adorable little command. It's the one that spits out what's in the file onto your kind of like into your like terminal. It's got a lot more like versatility than just that. Let's see if we can pull up some of the help. Yeah. So it's got a lot that it can do. Like all of these are some of the different arguments you can pass to the cat command. But yeah, okay, here we go. This tells you more or less sort of like what it's meant to do, is to print / concatenate files. You can do some like really cool like command line wizardry with it to a degree. To my knowledge, it's not something I necessarily have found a use case for yet personally, but well, actually no, that's a lie. You can use it to like you know, append like one file, I believe, with like the info in another file by doing something like, let's see if we can actually just do this. You know, we're already in a terminal. Alright. So we have that file. Let's make another one. Alright. Alright. And yeah, see, now that includes both lines. So you can concat... It's short for concatenate, which is kind of like mashing shit together, I guess, is how I would describe it. When you said cat, I thought you meant this one up here at first, the sly REPL cat, which I am quite a fan of as well. Yeah, this is the common Lisp REPL, or the sly common Lisp REPL. I'm quite a fan of. I think the cat itself is called Sylvester. But yeah, I am rather fanly. I'm quite the fan. We Okay, the name shouldn't be fit. Yes. Oh, I like that. I like that ASCII fish. I'm quite a fan. I yeah, I think the only reason I use this REPL versus slime is literally because of the cats in it. Being able to open it up and have a little cat say something like with a little quote each time. It's the most motivating part of Lisp. What? Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, I know now. The name is... We don't need to pass this as an argument. But what we do need is the name of the protocol. So let's open this up really quick. So we were going to end up in protocol after all. Okay. Hey, that kind of rhymed. Alright. Name and then... Alright, yeah, that's what we're gonna need from it. Oh wait, that's to read from strings, wrong one. Alright. Yeah, string cat. But yeah, this as well is another kind of example of concatenation. This is string concatenation, so it's kind of like mashing strings together. What its job is going to do is it's going to take this string, this one, and then the next one, which I'm actually going to define a conditional set for. But yeah, it takes all the strings and sort of like mashes them together into a single string. So for this one, what we're actually going to do is... allergies have been really bad this time of year. String equal protocol client. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I could only hope, given the amount of sneezing I do, that it is at least quite aesthetic. Did I spell protocol right? Client. Alright. Yes. And then one of these days I'm going to learn how to properly do like a type case in Lisp, and then I won't abuse cond so much. In the meantime, though, that's totally what I'm gonna do. Right, string equals, server, we're gonna do more or less the exact same thing. So I'll just snatch this and, oh no. Protocol.server. Alright. And then what this will actually allow us to do, ideally, is be able to just define one of these, because this is quite a bit of repetition, more repetition than I enjoy. So by sort of setting it up like this, we can hopefully prevent ourselves from needing to repeat ourselves needlessly. So outname shared. That being said, there will still be a lot of needless repetition, doing it this way. Alright, I am going to probably rewrite this entirely. Might actually be the move. Reader, but let's go ahead and get another version of it open right here so I can reference that. And then what are we going to be dealing with in terms of data types? So you're using new knowledge you have now, or like, I don't know, trying different methods you had but didn't think to use on these. I'd say probably a mix of both. To a degree. I would say probably, it's a little bit of both. There's some new knowledge in this. I've only been at this for a month, I would say. That being said, you gain a lot, you learn a lot by actually like writing the code versus reading about it. Like reading about programming, I sort of would find myself in these situations sometimes of not really knowing what the fuck I was reading about. But then going out and actually writing it, I was like, oh, I get it now. So it's a mix of both that and, you know, coding programming. In my opinion, is a lot like create like other creative pursuits. Your first draft is gonna suck, for both like computer programs and for like writing or like doing art, anything like that. You often on a piece get it wrong the first couple of times. So this is sort of, I think of it like sculpting as kind of like the thing I think of. Maybe not sculpting, writing, things like that. But yeah, like it starts out kind of fucked up, and you just have to make it look better over time, and you have to make it work better over time. Sometimes worse. Hopefully not in this case. It won't be worse. And then, use no, but yeah, in this situation, it was really just I didn't know what I was going to need from like the code, but as I got more of the program written, I realized things that I needed to go ahead and add on. And in the example of this function right here, it was kind of added on in a very messy way just so I could go ahead and start using some of the code I was generating. But now that, I've actually, and this isn't what it originally looked like either. It looked much uglier before. And it's slowly getting better, I guess, which is, good. But yeah, it used to look quite abhorrent, for lack of a better descriptor. But yeah, over time it's slowly gotten better, and I'm just trying to make it reach that sort of get those finishing touches on it, for lack of a better word. And really reduce the repetition, because ultimately that'll make the code a bit more readable as well. I think all of these use util. Funny, I also never thought of code as ugly or pretty. I I think there's a lot, like that's like a whole thing, is like there's like programming aesthetic, or like there are like aesthetic aspects to some programs, or like programming, I guess. And I don't know. I Part of the reason I do use Lisp a lot is I find like once it's kind of refined, or really well, like once you have a really well refined like program, it can look pretty aesthetic. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. Let's see. We're probably gonna get like wallpapers or whatever. Ew, a Medium article. What is this? Oh, what the fuck is this? Is this a slideshow? I don't want to watch a slideshow. Medium article. Yeah, it's probably gonna. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to open this without getting an ad. Um, yeah, create an account to read the full story. What if we go to images? Dice roll for images. But yeah, there's like a whole. Yeah, no, I hate Medium. Like, aesthetics are a whole kind of aspect of programming. I think they're. Um, I don't know. Readability is kind of like a big part of the overall aesthetic as well. Like, and that's sort of what I'm working on right now, is increasing the readability of this, turning it from spaghetti to understandable spaghetti. But yeah, I would say readability is the main thing. Other things are just kind of like good coding practices, and then as well, like actual code itself can, in my opinion at least, as somebody who's probably in this a little too deeply, it can look rather pretty. Let's see, what, hmm. You have an eye for it? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do, I mean, I try. I do try. Out, re-export. Can we re-export things that aren't being pulled in as dependencies, now that I think about it? I guess we're about to find out. I haven't run into an error with it yet, so yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and see. So that'll be our re-exports. Export we don't have to do anything about. Oh, that sounds really good. I've been eating bread and potatoes and Japanese curry, uh, like there's no tomorrow for the past month or so. It is it. I'm rather hooked on it. Yeah, it is Indian curry. That you see, I keep saying, damn, I'm gonna make something different. I'm gonna make like some like chana masala or something like that. And then the week rolls around and the carrots and the potatoes at the grocery store start eyeballing me again, and they're like, you're gonna make more Japanese curry. You're gonna open up another box of golden curry, and you're gonna make some more rice. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen, and thus thus it goes. But I don't know. I still bake my own bread, so I'm not complaining too much. The bread is kind of the star of the weekly caloric intake in terms of taste. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of I think 50-50 on Japanese versus Indian curry. I love Indian curry, but I don't know. Japanese curry, especially now that it's getting colder, like it hits the comfy spot really nice. It hits it really nice. Oh, I could fuck up some peanut butter. I eat that straight from the jar sometimes. It is it's rather good. You don't choose the curry chooses you. Yes, no, literally, buy it in bulk. Oh God, I wish that were me. I wish that were me. I feel like if I were to do that, I would live exclusively off peanut butter sandwiches for like 5 months. That's the reason I don't buy things in bulk, is I will just be like, all right, let's have the same thing as yesterday again, and do that every single day for like 4, 5, 6 weeks. Yeah, yeah. So it is. So it is. Such is the way of the world, as they say. But yes, indeed. Yeah. It's I don't mind it, but it is definitely the thing. Um, Whenever I find American peanut butter in the grocery stores, I go crazy. Is there a difference between American peanut butter and non-American peanut butter outside of the U.S.? I'm not aware of this as a thing. I didn't know this was a thing. I thought all were just peanut butter. But I'm rather interested in this. Um, Nicknames. Oh yeah, we do want to do nicknames. They always have them regulated. All right. Well, this makes me uh, quite concerned over what's in the American peanut butter now. They don't taste the same. I wonder. Oh, now I wonder what it might. What are they regulating that I probably have eaten like my weight's worth in now that I think about it. Do you think it's the microplastics? Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, no, that is entirely true. They're good. It's good. Peanut butter is good. Oh, I want a peanut butter sandwich now. Um, yeah, I often wonder about like the differences in like food regulation laws. I used to kind of like many moons ago, whenever I was seeking out like my degree, my collegiate, my undergraduate degree. My whole interest was food justice there for a while, and it's something I've always wondered, like kind of from that background, is sort of how regulations work, kind of like versus like other countries, because I know there are things that they sell like here in the U.S. that can't be sold like in other countries because of some of the food regulations, and then I'm just like, what the fuck are we eating sometimes? I quite literally there were points where I was just it kind of like it gets it's rather spooky, but you know ultimately I guess microplastics is that's what or that's the joke people make now, right? Is like the microplastics are in everything. I joke about eating microplastics all the time. They're putting soy in the soy. Indeed, yes. No, this is a thing. Yes. Oh no, you're good. You're a okay. You're a okay. Yeah, they are putting soy in the soy milk. I can't believe this. I I make my own soy milk. I got a soy milk machine, and that thing is rather awesome. Yeah, no, I buy the soybeans and I just make bulk soy milk. I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's see, Rex nickname. All right, out nickname. Can I spell nickname correctly? All right, there. Ooh, B12. Yeah, maybe I should just start dumping my own B12. Like, just get a bunch of B12 vitamins and stick them in the soy milk maker. And just be like, alright, there we go. Soda is less sweet in Brazil compared to Argentina and Italy is about the same. Oh, that's kind of, that's rather interesting. Like, I'm thinking now of like a global like soda tour of just um there's that guy on YouTube. I can't recall what his channel name is or anything, but he does reviews of like cigarettes across the world. And I'm imagining something like that, but so I'm sure that exists actually, but yeah, I don't know. I I think the only soda I ever used to be quite the fan of was Mexican Coke. Yeah, no, literally, Mexican Coke is really good. Where I live, they sell quite a bit of it. I think most sodas are in fact vegan. I know some of the diet sodas aren't. For whatever reason, like Diet Coke isn't vegan apparently. But I believe that most should be by principle. I don't know. I think there's some like non-vegan outliers that are the weird ones. Nickname. All right. So we have use. We have re-export. We have nickname. Export we don't have to worry about actually. All right. I think those are our local nuts. So what happens if I just
copy this entire conditional statement here. And I put it right here. And what we're going to want to do is just do a series of setups on all of these. It's going to be a little bit slightly annoying. There's probably a better way to do this, but it is yet to be realized. Let's see. Name protocol object. I've been meaning to try a German soda called Club Mate. It's a South American tea leaf flavor. Wait, so it's tea flavored soda? Called Club Mate. Is this do you know, is it yerba mate flavored? I believe that's what it's called. I believe that's the name of it. Yerba mate? Is that what it is? Oh, nice. Oh, I might have to look. I might have to check that out. That sounds rather good, actually. I may have to check that out myself. Out here's I'm really just yerba mate drink. I think I've only tried it once. And like the canned variety you can get from the store. I quite liked it. I drink an industrial amount of caffeine as it is. But I did enjoy the taste quite a bit. I want to get like it's the leaves, I believe, and like brew some at home because I do like making tea quite a lot. I have like a little tea set and everything. I used to make it a lot more. Kind of been getting back into it now. It's getting colder again, but it's really good. We actually in the little part of the world I live in, we have the only North American caffeine plant, only one in existence, or only species, and it's called a Yopan, I believe. Let me find it. Yes, this. It is a Yopan Holly. It is kind of the name of it. These are just advertisements. Yopan tree. I worked once upon a time. Yeah, here we go. Ilex vomitoria. Yeah, I worked once upon a time in horticulture and ended up. Yeah, you can see kind of its distributed region there. It is the only caffeinated plant in North America. They're rather pretty too. They're rather pretty. I used to collect the leaves, and I once made tea with it. And it did not taste good, but it felt cool because I was like, "Whoa, I harvested this myself and made tea from it. I later learned that the nursery that I worked at for growing these plants sprayed pesticides on the plants, and my manager was like, "You should not have done that." I'm like, "Oh, okay." This was years ago. I'm fine, so I'm sure it all worked out. Yeah, it was. It was rather interesting. I was just like, I wish I was told that beforehand. It was weird too, though, because we had quite a bit of fruit trees on the property, and at the same time, the owner was like, "Oh, you should, or anyone, like everyone, you should pick the fruit from these trees and like bring them home and stuff, or else they're gonna like fall on the ground and rot before we sell the plants." And whenever I think about it now, I'm just like, wouldn't those also have like pesticides on them? Did he just not know or not care? I think about it to this day. It was a rather strange, rather strange little like period of my life to be working in that little kind of like field, quite literally a field outdoors. It was. I learned I did not like working outside. That's what that is knowledge I gleaned from that. Um, I believe for this we can just do. I so I drink a lot. I would say of I don't drink a lot of tea. I used to once upon a time. I drink probably mostly coffee, even compared to water. I probably drink a little bit more coffee than water sometimes. You know, it is a bit of a balance, but that's just because. Oh yeah, energy drinks don't even work on me. I just like the taste. I used to be a fan of the taste of energy drinks. I don't know. I I found them I found them a little less enjoyable as time goes on personally, but I also, again, I drink like an industrial amount of coffee, so that is where my biases lie in terms of the the varying drinks of the world. Set of out name. So we have use name. Okay, let's see. The shadow is going to stay the same for both. I think because we're gonna have the shadow as variables either way because fucking Wayland decided. Let's name a protocol variable error. I guess it's not their fault. They couldn't know. Um, I don't make coffee enough to justify buying beans, but I really enjoy it. It also doesn't work on me. LOL, why? Um, why shadow or why did they name something error? Um, they named it error because it is a what it kind of references is a function that signals on, yeah, it's a function that signals on error. So we can actually, here, I can show it in here. Is it in this one? Yeah. So it is a Wayland event. And what events are basically signals that the display server sends out to the or like events are, yeah, signals that, is it signals are sent by the client or are they requests? I get those two mixed up all the time. um let's see, I get the two mixed up, but there are signals and there are requests, and or there are events and there are requests in Wayland. And what error does is, like it says right here, it sends out a signal whenever an error has occurred that can't be recovered from. and along with that, it sends out the object ID and everything. So this just generates a function called error that is in charge of sending out this information. The issue is that Common Lisp has a function as well called error, and whenever we're defining the Lisp bindings for this, since error here wants to define itself, it conflicts with the Common Lisp package name. So we kind of have two options, or well, three. One would be renaming this to something other than error, which would be really not really possible in this situation because we're doing like this code is auto generated, and changing the name of it would really kind of like violate like the whole principle of like being able to generate the Wayland protocol from the XML, because it's defined in the protocol as error. So that's kind of out of the question. The other things we could do is, one is we could get rid of use Common Lisp. We could choose to not include the standard like Common Lisp library or package in like inside of our code. We're not going to do that either, because that means that we would have to write a lot of the arguments a lot more verbosely. So instead of being able to type format like this, we would have to do something along the lines of CL format, and we'd have to do that with CL. We'd have to do that with format. We'd have to do it with string equal, and basically all the other Common Lisp functionality. We'd have to do CL and then append it. It's kind of annoying. The last option here, and the one that we're choosing, is to shadow. And what this does is it basically says that within the package, rather than using the Common Lisp error and format functions, we are going to use the ones provided by the functions provided by the package itself. And so this makes it so that we only have to do something like Common Lisp format or Common Lisp error on error and format, and not on things like Common Lisp let or Common Lisp list or Common Lisp any of this. Yeah. It's kind of annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, I guess, in terms of generating the protocol. Let's see. I think we're just gonna spell it correctly. Alright, and what is, oh sorry, the nickname. We have to set out, alright, set up out nickname. What happened to the ISN in your name? Sin? Oh, my old Twitter name? Yeah. That was like my 5th account. And I have Big Book of Bug on everything else, but that was sort of after that. because I lost access to my account for quite some time. And hello, wind up boy slash fade. How are you? But yeah, that I forgot about that username. Yeah, that's quite an old one. That's a throwback. That is a um quite the throwback. Nominal. Nominal. L colon Q is F. I'm sad that I actually missed most of it. I had things at work. Unfortunately, it was rather unfortunate. But did he just work through that or like work through that what looked like old school advent of code, but better the whole stream? The entire stream? Holy. Yeah, I want to take a look at it. I'm probably near the end of, or once I finish this up, I might take a look at it on my end. I can imagine. No. Oh, you tell. Oops. We built a VM to run a program we were given from the bene- um, beneficent celestial electron. Oh, this sounds rather basic. Actually, I'm gonna need to take a look at it. As on my end, it is most definitely. Well, it was all in C, right? Yeah. If it was all in C, actually, maybe I could do it. Um, or at least take a crack at it. Oh well, have a nice time with your friends, Casey underscore care, um, and yeah, thank you for the luck. Oh, it could be in anything. Conk chose to do it in C. Yeah, I got rather because I came into or I came into view the stream. I would say I think it was probably like 2.5 hours in. Um, I pop open the stream and I just see, one silence, and then two there was C code on the screen. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Or not silence per se, but it was a rather focused rather quickly, and I felt I was like, whoa. And then I was excited because there was C code on the screen. I'm like, oh, I love C. As I imagine I've expressed. Yeah, not a lot. Yeah, I, if I feel like if, or I guess you can't predict these things, but if I had known that, I may have been able to hop in a little bit earlier, and just had like the volume down really low while I was at work. But no, they are doing my work location is doing their in the VR business that is not enjoyable, not quite a headache, as they say. And yeah, I have been embroiled in putting up with that. Audit all the things. Yeah, it is it is time for they evaluate just everything, and including me. And they already kind of said that they're not going to. They already stated kind of from the get go, from like an old meeting. They're like, oh yeah, we're not. We don't think that we are going to see any sort of like compensation increases for any employees this year. And I'm just like, I'm thinking about that now. I'm just like, okay, why do I care, or why do I care to help out with this then? But you know, you, so it goes. So it goes. But yeah, it is rather. It is the terror right before being able to like go home for Christmas. How is the code? Oh, what is happening? So this is actually what I'm doing right now is doing some refactoring work on this, and part of this is just sort of taking the repetition in this function, and this one is somewhat repetitive as well. I'll probably end up mapping over it, but what I'm doing is making it such that this one is a little bit easier to work with, and a little bit more malleable, because right now it only takes it takes the server, client, and shared like program types, and it only produces a package of a single name. And something that's going to be needed later on is for other protocols that aren't like the Wayland protocol, such as the XDG shell. What'll end up needing to happen is being able to define packages with those names as well, and then also like the specific dependencies that they depend on. But yeah, I'm working on figuring out the probably best way to, I guess, intern kind of like these keywords right here, because another thing that happens is here. Let me save the file really quick. Another thing that happens anytime I go to edit this, and honestly, this is probably more on the editor end, but it'll fuck up these names if I try to format or like align the parentheses and everything. It'll end up doing that, and I don't know if that's a problem or not, if I'm being honest, but it is certainly a bit of a headache. I don't know why it does that. I tried. It's something I did try looking it up, but could find no information. I didn't try actually. I feel like that should be a macro. I believe oh no, it wasn't defun. Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah, I could probably loop over it. Hold on. So I think I think you could do a looping macro now. Or yeah, no, thank you for that input actually. Yeah, because I could loop over the different parts of this, and depending on if it's a server, client, or basically depending on the type of protocol, I can just form this all together a bit. Yeah, loop for oh, I forgot to do. Looping is still feels rather esoteric to me sometimes. Yeah, I think a loop macro would be the best way. I feel like one of these days I'm gonna figure out looping like a bit, or I'm gonna be able to like actually loop through, or use the loop macro correctly, but it is it's a rather there are a lot of facets to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and close that off really quick and so how would this look as a macro? I think I'm trying to think. Yeah, if it's a macro, because we don't want to evaluate this form until it's actually like input into the file. This is for the writer. Yeah, I think backticking it will work for that. Write the code you want, and then write the expansion to that code. So yeah, what I'm thinking is, let's see. So I have to set the name of the protocol, and then along with that, set the name, the users, the re-export, and the nickname. I feel like the nickname isn't wholly necessary now that I think about it. That's just like needless, added complexity to a degree. I don't even use it whenever I'm like working with this code myself. But let's see. So believe that or form should work. With all those string comparisons, it kind of feels like you should just define classes for each of your things, and then define print object methods for their types, which can expand to the given thing. Of course, I'm literally a little punchy. Yeah, I think print object methods. Is this a common thing actually in like Lisp's object system having a print object method about it? I think very. Oh, that's rather cool actually. I think the thing that would make that somewhat well actually, now that I think about it, hold on. I was not aware of this. Wait a sec. Certificate error. Okay. Oh. Oh, there's the cookbook. Apply this project to do textual translation. Wait. That's rather cool. Hold on, let me open this, really quick. Let me open this one. Alright. That's just a rather cool project. Let's look into the source. Oh, why is it? Okay, there. This is rather amazing, actually. I quite like this. I think. So what I could do actually now that you're mentioning this, something I could do is, because I do have the base protocol object set up here, defining specific instance. One sec. Yeah, because if I define these, this would actually work quite well. Now that okay. Let me go on a note for that. Avoiding chat list line 54. Oh yeah, that's the one that I was on. Yeah, no, this is this might quite literally change a lot of how I'm able to process that part. Thank you for this. Also, this is a really cool fucking project, as well. But okay, sweet. This is yeah. I'm gonna have to read through, or I'm gonna read through this, and that kind of shrinking. Yeah, use the object. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I feel like a lot of the string matching has that sort of feel for it. Especially on getting this. That's sort of been what I've been. That's what I've been doing with kind of like most of today has been. I call it just like making this legible. The like writer protocols for it. Something I did manage to do kind of like to that end was still kind of working out the kinks for the function, but getting the moving some of the things to like a bit lower level and like the setup. It's still kind of littered with comments because I'm working out some FFI issues. But yeah, I've been rewriting the listener. That was quite a nightmarish task, but this I'm gonna get this done just kind of over the next couple of days, or get the definitions done over the next couple of days using the object system, and who knows, maybe I can use that as well to guide some other aspects of how the program is being written, because yeah, it's rather hectic. The writer at least is rather hectic in some parts. Um but yeah, right. It looks like it's about hit about that 10ish mark. So here, let me find somewhere. Uh, Again, or thank y'all all for popping in. And thank you Fade for the object system stuff. Um, CFFI is messy, but you don't want to write C in the list. Yeah, no, it is. Messy is the optimal word there. I know more about it than I ever bargained to at this point, though, and it gets quite. It's a never-ending rabbit hole to some degree, and really kind of what I've been working on now is obfuscating some of the CFFI calls. So this is a like lower level function, which is why it's still kind of being worked on a bit, because I need to work out some of the quirks in it still. But yeah, this is a lower level version of what was originally this. Not this. That one is actually quite nice. It's a lower level version of this add listener function right here, which had been bugging me because it exposes a lot of the FFI just directly to the user, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm kind of obfuscating this to a degree, and ideally, what the only thing that somebody will have to deal with will be the I think it's an interface. Yeah, I need to rewrite this one, so add a little to do there. But yeah, ideally, the actual code somebody will be dealing with will just be this little def bar right here, instead of that much longer function, because this will call this wrapper that I am using pretty heavily, instead of calling like the bare Wayland proxy add listener like on the user level. But yeah, I'm quite excited. I'm making a bit more headway and getting at like the refactoring aspect, which means it'll be a lot easier to figure out what's going wrong with some of the other aspects. But here, I am going to yeah. Let's see, where can I send y'all off to? and then cause I have to start getting, I have to have dinner and then start getting ready for bed on my end. This is great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I do try. And as always, thank you for the input, or the Lisp input as well, because it helps a lot. I've taken a lot of, or so far, like, a lot of kind of like the tips here and there. Oh, hey, Freeful, how are you? How are you? I was just actually about to send you off on a raid somewhere, but I do hope you're well. Um, Here, let's see, who is alive? Who is doing things? Who out here is, hashtag doing things, doing well? How has the Wayland stuff been going? Um, it's it's going. It's going rather wildly. A lot of refactoring lately. Um, Here, let me see. Uh, Little Witch Oz. I do not know this person, but or I do not know their. I have not watched their streams before, but they have quite nice tabs. So we will go over to Little Witch Oz AUZ. And yeah, just uh, niceness. Nice little bug raid, I guess, as they say. But yeah, let me start that. And yeah, oh seven indeed. Yeah. Have fun over there, everyone. Have a nice little bug raid. I will be there too.
Thank you for the raid. Book a bug. Bug.